I am going to try to answer a question that comes up all the time, which is, why does it feel like narcissistic people are delusional? I know some of you are saying, or at least thinking, that the answer to that is because they are. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't necessarily disagree with you. But let's set this up, right? You are in a narcissistic relationship. It's a good guess on this channel. The narcissistic person is insisting that you said something you didn't, that you promised something and that you didn't follow through, that you did something that you literally didn't do. Or alternately, the narcissistic person, they'll deny that they did something or that they said something that they absolutely did. This is typically part of gaslighting, accusing you of something that you didn't do or that didn't happen, and then treat you or talk about you or talk to you as though there's something wrong with you. Either because they insist that you did or didn't do the thing, and by not doing it or not doing it, that makes you a bad person, or that there's something wrong with you. Your memory is failing, you're mentally ill, or whatever it might be. Or they deny that they themselves did something, which they definitely did, and especially something that hurt you, right? Listen, I'm gonna own it. None of us remember every single thing we've ever said or done. And before we know what narcissism is, a normal, regular, garden variety person who is stuck in one of these relationships will often agreeably try to make it work and say and reflect on things like, well, maybe I did say that, or maybe I didn't do that. You may even apologize. But you may not take the fight. You may wonder, like, well, maybe I heard them wrong, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, or maybe I didn't see that. And then you throw in mechanisms like betrayal blindness, too. It's like none of it sort of registers, right? It's a gradual indoctrination process of control. Because as this happens, the narcissistic person edges in further and further to hold the monopoly on reality in the relationship. Now, sometimes in your narcissistic relationship, you may take the fight. Especially earlier in the relationship, you might do this. You may insist, no, I didn't do that. You will assemble an alibi as though you were on CSI. But the thing to remember about narcissistic folks, it's not about the evidence. It's just that they wear you down. You may say, oh, hell no, here's the picture. You were there, see? Picture. Here is the text I saw you send, see? But the thing is, narcissistic people have just one channel. And that channel is control. And you may have a fuller life and other stuff that's more important to you. Friends, job, hobbies, children, life. And we got to go attend to those things too. So we will often just capitulate in these relationships just to keep things moving. As many of you know, the gaslighting and the madness means that these relationships preoccupy us. They're always sort of shifting and all that other stuff. But when it comes to the delusional beliefs, they won't let it go. And you may either decide to not die on that hill, be exhausted, and in the worst cases, actually start believing their accusations and just go along just so you aren't perceived in such a messed up way. Or have such distorted, twisted narratives maintained about you. Or, and of course this relates to the trauma bonding and all the rest of it, you aren't ready to see it. It doesn't feel safe to see it in your body and all that that means. For example, it may feel to you that if I see this clearly, it might mean I have to end the relationship or confront the relationship. But as the world learns more about narcissism, and perhaps, you're in therapy or you talk to friends, whatever it is that turns that light on for you, you see it more clearly. You may start doing the evidence collecting, as I often term it, right? You may start texting the narcissistic person more often, so there's a written record. You may write things down more often, or send things by email. You document. You may even record. You now have the proof. And yet, they still insist you're wrong. And then they spin it into how you are weird and cold and paranoid. And you always have to be right with all your little saving all the text messages things, and that you really don't love them and care about them, because if you loved them, you wouldn't do that. But at this point, and at this point in one of these relationships, I will tell you this. You are psychologically wiped out. You wonder, like, are they just delusional? Are they believing things that just completely aren't true? Are they becoming almost conspiratorial in their beliefs? This idea that you might be plotting against them, that you do things that show that you don't love them or care about them, or that you're shady, that you're out to get them, that you don't trust them. And remember, most narcissistic people are very self-righteous and do believe that they are morally superior. So you holding or communicating a belief that they are not doing the right thing really kind of rattles their grandiosity.